I thought I better take some coffee before I start talking, because I will start coughing my guts out, and I haven't done an update for quite a while, as in a proper update. But you know, ever since ever since I started my channel in 2007, it began as really just a detour because of when I lost my dad, you know, when he passed away. And then I started to get the insight about the energy crisis, which was impending, coming. And initially I just wanted to escape, and I wanted to fly my planes in flight gear and in Concorde and just avoid it, avoid all the negativity as much as possible. But no matter where you look these days, it's like negativity is prominent. It's around every corner, basically, because of the way we've been attacked. I don't use that word lightly, because when you look at the bigger picture, you realise we are being attacked, because taxes, they're an attack against our ability to prosper. And prices of food, prices of energy, everything really is an attack against humanity, because everybody's struggling right now. Everybody is struggling, except unless you're in a certain criteria of certain narrow band that serves the agenda. And there is an agenda, obviously. And that particular agenda is to steer. It's called the steering group. It's a focus of where they want to take us rather than where we want to be. So many of us will turn to spirituality and will turn to alternative escapes. Many people will turn to you know, without saying anything. And that's very destructive as well. I mean, that destroys people, and that's a spiral that ultimately ends in premature, without saying the word. So, but then there's a few people around like myself who will try their best to find some solutions, because the big corporations won't do that for us. They won't give us it. They won't give us a cure for cancer. They won't, because you see that goes against their agenda. Because part of the main agenda is population reduction, not growth. So I spent over 7 years trying to find out a solution to alternative energy, because there's a lot of people out there who claim that they've succeeded, but these people disappear. And why do they disappear? Well, there's many reasons, and it's usually because it goes against the agenda. And they don't want us to have free energy, and because they can't tax it, they can't charge us for it, it's unmetered. So we end up with a situation where no matter what we do, unless we're working towards the dark agenda, let's just call it what it is, unless you're working towards the darker agenda and accelerating that dark agenda, you don't prosper. But you will prosper if you're actually doing something that actually benefits them rather than us, right? So I don't see that I will ever attain 1,000 viewers, 1,000 members before the end of this year anyway, because of the way things are happening right now. They're saying that we could be having blackouts, power cuts within 2 years, but that's going to happen a lot sooner, because if you think about the amount of population that's coming into the country, all dependence, and our infrastructure is falling apart. small shops are disappearing, and the only thing left really is the big corporate giants, and they're the ones who ultimately will be, when the competition's gone, when there's no longer a competition to keep prices down, it will accelerate and prices will go up. Our income's going down. We will get to a point where, and a lot of people are getting sick. Our food is no longer safe to eat, basically, because it's full of chemicals, and we're all subject to it, and it's affecting us all in different ways, whether it be Alzheimer's disease, or it's not really a disease, it's a contamination. It gets in your brain. Your brain cells do not regenerate. Once your brain cells are damaged by toxins such as aluminium and other types of metal, it causes a barrier in the brain, causes memory loss, and I'm also being subjected to that. A lot of people are, when they get to a certain age. It's a build-up, and you can't really do much about it. You try to avoid it, but no matter where you go, you can't really avoid it, because it's in everything. So I spent over 7 years working on this free energy idea, right? And I wasn't getting any. There's probably 2 people. I could name 2 people who actually did help with that. They sent me a little bit, but that's not enough, really. I mean, I'm not getting at them, but I'm just talking about all the other people out there who seem to have this idea that I'm doing all this for myself. I'm not doing this for myself, because I'm not going to be around that long. I thought it might help younger people to understand what electronics is all about and what magnetism is all about, because I was trying to understand it myself, and I was trying to pass on what I knew. And there's a lot of other people who are doing the same thing, but they've actually made a better progress, because they might be in a better situation than I am. Because if you're in a big country like America, for example, there's a much bigger resource of a free surplus, ex-military, what's the word? You see, as the system comes down, as businesses collapse, there's a surplus of second-hand parts, right? That's where it happens. So you end up being able to get your hands on a lot of surplus equipment. And that's what's going on right now, is the fact that as businesses shut down, the skips are getting full up. You see what I'm saying? The skips, recycling, rubbish is building up. A lot of this goes to places like China, and it's recycled there, but we don't get a chance to. It's been ripped out from under our noses, basically, because they don't want us to have it, because they don't want us to play around with it. They don't want us to. They might be afraid that some guy somewhere is going to build a rocket ship. No, that's not what most people are trying to do. People are trying to survive on this planet. People are just trying to survive. They're trying to find a solution to the energy crisis, and we're not being given the solution to the energy crisis. We're just being given appeasement. It's called appeasement. We're being keep you going a bit longer. But there's this deadline, right? We're all going to hit this deadline at one point, and we're all going to be at this point when everything hits the fan. And that's the day when all hell breaks loose, and the system collapses, basically. And they talk about this global reset, right? The Great Reset, they call it. Well, most of us are not going to enjoy this Great Reset. It's for them, the ones at the top. And most of us are going to be gone, right? The average Joe, the average Jane. Because what we're surplus to requirement. They say, well, we don't need all this lot, you know. We've got our technology, we've got our robots now, we can build whatever we want with our robots. That's their attitude. So we are pretty much FUCK'd, right? And everyone can see it. I mean, most people don't talk about it, but you can see it. You walk down the street, walk down the high street, and you see all the boarded up shops. And you know what's coming. Because when you've got to walk further and further each day to find a store that sells what you need, you realise that things are going backwards, you know, things are collapsing. It's slow motion, it's happening very slowly. So I try to stay positive, I do try to stay positive, but there's only so much you can stay positive about. Because you can't, if you're walking in SHIT, basically, you can't pretend it doesn't exist. You're still walking in it. And a lot of us are in that situation where we're caught up. We can't get out of it, right? There's no way out of it because we've been damaged by, our health's been damaged. And there are people out there trying to say that most people have been pretending. It's not true. People have been damaged by toxins, radiological, all this EMF and all this radio devices, everything. All of that is harmful to biological life. It's been shown and proven. I mean, but people don't, the mainstream does not expose that. It's kept under wraps. So I did make a video which comes out at the end of the beginning of next year. I'm going to have to move it forward a bit because my daughter was saying, well, you don't really want to have that on New Year's Day. I said, oh yeah, you got a point, yeah. So I'm probably going to have to move that forward a bit. But the only reason for that was in case something happened to me, right? And there's nothing dramatic in it. It's pretty much the same thing I'm talking about right now, really, in a way. Maybe it was superfluous, but it was very superficial. It was just basically like if something does happen to me, I don't want. I explain it. Right? There was a few cases of where YouTube channels just mysteriously stopped posting videos. And everyone's going on there and looking at the videos, and they were commenting, well, asking questions. Oh, well, what about this? Can't you do that? How do you come to this idea? And I realised that people didn't realise that this guy had died, and they were posting questions. And I went on there and I said, excuse me, but this guy's not here anymore. You're asking questions and you're talking to the dead. They said, oh sorry, I didn't realise. Yeah. And I thought, well, I don't want to be in that situation, right? I don't want to be in that situation that if I'm not here anymore, some guy comes along and posts a question and thinks I'm still around when I'm not. So I thought, well, I'll avoid that. If I make a video, it's called a dead man switch, right? That's what it is, dead man switch. Basically, it goes to say, oh, I'm not here anymore. If you're watching this video, I'm probably not here anymore, sort of thing. That way, people aren't going to be posting questions to me and saying, hi, what about this? And yeah. So I just figured if I did that, people would come along. They wouldn't come along and say, oh, why haven't you not posted anything for like 6 years or 2 years or something? Well, now they'll know, you see. That's the only reason I did the video. Somebody else thought I was doing a suicide video. No, it's just a dead man switch. You know what that is? It's like you set up an email that automatically sends out to everybody with forward a bit. Well, not forward, back. I mean, advance it, you know, later on. Right. I get it wrong way around. My brain's not working so good at the moment. So, and my daughter knows about it. She's an admin anyway on here, by the way. But she doesn't really want to mess about with my channel if I'm not here anymore. So, but she would be able to do it if she wanted to, or if there was a reason for doing it. She could. She's an admin. And I get this message from YouTube. Oh, remove unknown users from your channel that might. No, she's not an unknown user. She's my daughter. Trust me. She's keeping an eye on things if I'm not around anymore, right? So anyway, yeah, the way things are going, there's a lot of talk on things about to happen something big is about to happen in the UK, in England, right? I don't know what it is exactly, but it could be an invasion. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but they do say it's probably. I can't really say because you know somebody might point at me and say, "Ah, you're being, you know, the word No, I'm just looking at the bigger picture. And there was a prediction. There was a prediction made a few years back. And I did show it once or twice on my YouTube channel, actually, that most of Europe would disappear. We're in Europe, right? So, if that happens, there's also the possibility that this YouTube channel, I mean, YouTube might even go down. If that's the case, then, yeah, what's it all been for? What was the point, you know? But you see, we can only do what we can do. We can only make the best of what we've got. And that's basically it. We just try it. We keep trying. We all keep trying. But everything seems to be stacked up against us, right? Everything's stacked against us right now. Our ability to have free speech, even that's been stacked up against us. We can't say this, we can't say that. The world is falling apart, right? I mean, we know it, we can see it. And it's referenced in some of the biblical documentation that this is supposed to be the end times. This is supposed to be the time of the dark ones that make empty promises to us that will never be fulfilled. And we're selling our soul too, basically. So I was trying to make this free energy device because I thought it might be able to help me out and help everybody else out to stay on the air, basically. But it looks like, because there's going to be some major changes between April this year and October next year, for me personally. So as of October next year, later on this year, I might be off air, right? Let me just put it like that. I might not be here anymore, online. It might not be because I've done that. No, it's because of another problem with paying my bills, right? So I might have to degrade or downgrade or something. I have no idea where I'm going to be because I'm going to be a lot worse off this coming October because of an age change, basically. But if I can get through from October to middle of next year, 2026, then I might be okay. But I don't know if I can, because it's going to be a substantial loss financially. So I don't know. I have no idea where I'm going to be. I don't know. Because if something else happens, like this so-called invasion, if that's the case, then I have no idea where that's going to end up. I have no idea. We don't know. We don't know. We're hearing all sorts of rumours right now that Britain is about to fall, right? I don't know. I'm psychic. In a way, I can see stuff, but like I said, I don't want to look at negative things. And it's very negative. And when something is affecting you personally like that, it's difficult. You can't see it. You just can't see it. I mean, you can't meditate on it and see it because it affects you personally. But if somebody else on the outside was looking in, they could probably say, I know what's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. I can tell you what's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. But nobody's told me that yet, so I don't know. You know, it's like when you go to see a spiritual medium, you usually go to see them because you need to know something about your love life or something else to do with your future that you can't see, but they can see. It's like when you're on the inside looking out, it's difficult to look back in on yourself. You can't do it. It's not practical. Whereas other people on the outside can look in. It's hard to explain it, but that's just the way it works. So I thought I'd do a little update on where I am at the moment. The material world is really just, it's a ride. It's like a fairground ride in a way. We're all supposedly in this matrix. We're all supposedly in this frigging holographic universe, holographic world, and there's all these strange things happening around us at the moment, like that portal that appeared right over us a few days ago. There's all sorts of weird things going on at the moment, and most people explain it away. It was freaking rocket fuel. Yeah, give me a break. No, I didn't see anyone calling an ambulance. I'm just being drenched in rocket fuel. I'm covered. I'm wet through. I'm about to explode. No, that wasn't falling. It was just in the air. It was moving. It wasn't falling. It was moving across the sky. And the reason for that is because portals generally don't move, but our planets are moving, right? We have what's called orbits, and you know, the sun, the moon, Venus, Mars. All those planets are actually orbiting each other and they're all moving, right? So if you've got a portal opens up in the sky, right, and your planet's moving through the portal, it's going to appear like, the portal, look at it, it's moving across the sky. No, the planet's moving. That's why it looked like it was moving, but it wasn't. So that was stationary in the sky, and I spoke to a witness who actually saw it, and he was telling me about it. He said, right over my frigging house, he said. Right over my house. Well, it looked like it was over your house actually, but it was probably really big and very high up. But anyway, what am I doing? I'm diverging again. So anyway, I just wanted to do an update. So I have no idea what's going to happen this year, really. That's a lot of it speculation, but I do know that it's going to get very tough for me and for a lot of other people. Let's not forget everybody else. Everybody's going to be having a hard time this year because it's just the way things are right now. It's the whole freaking country's a mess. Anyway, I'm going to go because it's negative. I don't want to focus on all that. I try not to. All of our... Another thing is our health system's about to go down too. Our health system, you know, NHS, that's about to go down. And they're going to blame it on us. They always do, but it's the government. See you later. Bye.